The Stock of the Day is brought to you by IG, Australia's #1 CFD provider. With over 17,000 markets and extended trading hours, turn US earnings season volatility into opportunity. Get started at IG.com.
Stock of the day is ResMed, I should say. It is the sleep device maker. It says it's received an exemption from those trade tariffs, which means its exports from its manufacturing hubs, both here and in Singapore, could potentially dodge the trade war that's playing out. Chief Executive Mick Farrell, in fact, I just spoke to him. He did concede that nothing's certain under this current administration, though it is doubling its US manufacturing footprint at its plant in California. Now, ResMed revenue increasing 8% to $1.3 billion in the quarter, driven by increased demand for its sleep devices and masks, as well as solid growth in the residential care software business. Gross margin improving by 140 basis points to 59.3%, while income from operations increased 14%. ResMed posting an operating cash flow of $579 million US dollars, paying $78 million in dividends to shareholders with diluted earnings per share of $2.48. That's the performance over the past 12 months. Shares are up in this morning's trade. And, well, what do our experts think then, where the company is placed at the moment, Mark?
Yeah, look, great company run by a great CEO. It's just continuing to do all the right things. They've got a new FDA-approved night owl home sleep test as well, which is going to start to... Because one of the things that Mick Farrell's always said is that, even when the GLP-1 drugs came out, it's not a very diagnosed condition, and everyone laughed at him. I think initially when he said, "Well, the GLP-1 drugs will raise awareness of sleep apnea," but that's actually what's panned out here. So, they're obviously being able to shift to their footprint in the US. There's a couple of other companies we've got on the show today, and one in particular, CSL, which has got the same optionality. It didn't surprise me. They seem to always report pretty well, and I think having that long-term quality management in there means that they, if they see things coming a little bit, and they can pivot a lot faster than your traditional large business. So, and there's more innovations in the pipeline. This is sort of one of our top 3 or 4 stocks to buy. We don't really have any on at the moment, but that's mainly because we've got a few other things on. We will certainly have a bit of a look at, probably buying some and holding some for the long term over the course of the next 6 months. But today's result was certainly encouraging us to pull the trigger sooner rather than later. So I'd say it's a buy.
What about the impact of those tariffs then, and perhaps how it can pivot to manufacturing onshore in the States?
I think the tariff fears are an opportunity. I don't think any of it's really going to play out a hell of a lot. He's trying to get rates down. He's trying, to raise revenue essentially because of their burgeoning debt problem, and he's doing a fantastic job at distracting everyone from the fact that I think they're just about to tick over 37 trillion in debt, and they've got 7 trillion to refinance. So it's a bit of a sideshow alley sort of trick going on at the moment, I don't think he's got any real long-term plans. I mean, tariffs have been proven a million times not to really work and not to be an effective policy. So, I think this will just die down over the course of time, and he'll just say that he got a great deal, and it'll probably be nothing different.
All right, a buy from you, Anthony. Do you agree?
We like this as a quality growth company. A theme we've been working with really over the last 6 to 12 months, in the absence of outright growth, is this doing more with less. So where revenues or sales may be flat, an ability to expand margin. We saw the ResMed result really as doing more with more. The 9% constant currency increase in revenues and expanding margin just goes to that quality. It's a position we hold as a core. We will flex periodically when valuation starts to push a bit higher. It's held, and there was that controversy, as Mark mentioned, around the GLP-1s. Are they going to be a threat? There's work and efforts and research now about the complementarity, actually, the two working together as an integrated treatment.
Well, that's certainly what Mick Farrell, that's his point of view. Yeah.
And we are seeing as that evolves, it's fairly new technology, the GLP-1s, the usage, still got a broad runway for growth, like the position. We're a hold for now, on the basis we have a fairly full position that's run up with this, but enjoyed seeing this result. And as I said, just re-emphasising a genuine quality growth name.
That is the view on our stock of the day, ResMed.
The stock of the day was brought to you by IG. Turn volatility into opportunity this US earnings season with extended trading hours on over 110 key US shares. Get started at IG.com.